Travis here with Much Props, going to give you another how-to video. Today we're going to do something a little bit off the beaten path. I've got a bunch of random junk just laying around that I buy things for, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to build something with that, and then it just kind of sits there for a while. So I'm going to pull out one of those tubs of random items and just kind of piece it together and throw up something hopefully that looks cool. So my thought was, let's build something post-apocalyptic, kind of like a homage to Mad Max or something like that, and we'll see what happens. So I have a pre-made paintball mask that I bought on Amazon a while back, and then a bunch of random things that I got from like the dollar store around Halloween time, and I thought, let's make something with that. So today we are going to make what I am calling my atomic porcupine helmet. You'll see why. Let's get to building. Alright, this may be one of about 4 or 5 totes that I have filled with random masks, guns, plastic bits, dollar store finds, etc. I might have a problem. For those of you that are not as comfortable with building things from scratch, this is a quick, fun, easy way to make something out of found objects. It's also a way to allow you to take advantage of details that are already made for you, and to think of items in a different way to build a prop. I got this helmet from a thrift store for a couple of bucks, and the mask was a flash sale on Amazon. Because my helmet is pieced together, I wanted a good connection where I could. Since everything will be built on top of these 2 items, I decided to rivet them together, which also gives me some extra build details. After drilling a couple of holes, I connected the endpoints of each side, then it basically holds its own positioning and the rest easily fall into place. To add another layer to the back and cover up more of the back of my head, I took the front end off of another helmet to rivet underneath. I had to use a heat gun on it a little bit to make it fit inside the smaller base helmet. Halo fans, look away. This needler was an after Halloween sale at Walmart that I had found, and I'm pretty sure it was made for little kids because the grip is too small to fit in my hand. So I thought that I might make a mohawk with it. I try several positions before I settle on the exact location. The inside of the needler curves, so I took the 48mm EVA dowel rod you see here and split it in half to fill the void and give me a surface to glue to. Once I super glued it on, I then hot glued the needler parts on and backfilled them with more hot glue. I found the cat toys at my local dollar store. My thought was to use them as a light cover, so I split them in half, glued them over the holes I drilled out for the lights, and then laid down a sloppy bead of hot glue around the outside to simulate a welding bead. It also further secures the connection. You may also notice I put welding beads along the mohawk and where the face meets the helmet too. I thought the vents would add a cool detail to the cheeks. My original thought was to use the ashtrays and make filters, but I kind of liked the vents a little bit more. I also found a filter from an airsoft gas mask and decided to plug it in to the front. Of course, we had to add some random hoses that go to nowhere and serve no purpose. I drilled a hole in the back of the filter on the front and hot glued the mess out of both sides of the tubing.
Because most of the parts are plastic and metal, I use some Rust-Oleum hammered spray paint as a base, then laying down a light mist of silver to make it look like old metal. Found some LEDs that were a little bit smaller and could bend, which was a better fit for the helmet so it wasn't poking me in the head. I glued the lights into the holes behind the vents, one on each eye, and some inside the filter. Then I secured all the wires to the helmet with a layer of duct tape on the inside. The battery pack rests right in front of my face. This battery operated lighting is a great choice for those of us who may not have the best of electrical skills. I wanted a decal to cover up the blank space on the sides of the helmet, so I made a stencil out of some poster board and spray painted them on. I purposely put the overlay of the hazard symbol on top of the still wet base layer so that sections of the paint would actually pull off when I lifted it up. Then to finish it off, I used some paint pens to highlight my weld lines and drew some more details around the helmet. I like using these paint pens because it's a lot sturdier in my hand than trying to use a brush.
And we are finished. Here is the end result. Overall, I really like how it turned out. It is definitely pretty heavy, definitely different than my normal foam builds. All this stuff kind of adds up in weight very quickly. I've had that Halo gun for quite a while, and when I first bought it, I thought, oh, this is super cool, I'll just do a repaint on it. It was kind of poorly made, and I think it was more sized for like a child's hand because it didn't really, I couldn't grip it. So I thought, why not kind of tear it apart? So I know I probably lost some of y'all the second I cut that thing up. It's okay. It was a couple of bucks from, I think, Walmart after Halloween. The rest of it, I just kind of threw together from random parts that I had laying around. Masks that I bought online, helmets that I bought at the dollar store, these cat toys that I got at the dollar store, and then there's all these other random bits and pieces. It does have lights in it that I think make it look pretty cool. You can't really see it that great with studio lights on, but in the dark it's super intimidating. Maybe you'll try and make one of these helmets yourself, or at least something sort of similar like it, and impress your friends with your Mad Max ability to comb throughout the wasteland in the search for that sweet, sweet fuel, water, food, something. Maybe you'll get some.
Yay!
And inevitably, they're going to ask you, how'd you make that? You can give them one of these. Tell them, much props. I mean, I just kind of feel like I'm ready to throw down.
I'm not going to headbutt the camera because it'll probably break it. Peace out.